WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle here, streaming on social media. We're also going to be streaming on our news and weather apps, but of course for you folks here on social, we're going to make this pretty easy for you. It is a 31 alert day, and we are tracking severe thunderstorms moving here across North Alabama. And some of these are going to have the potential to produce some damaging wind, perhaps a tornado threat. We've had some tornado warnings. No reports of anything confirmed, but we have gotten reports of some strong wind that's been confirmed. 50-mile-per-hour wind gust in parts of Colbert and Lauderdale County. We did have an 83-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in Florence. Now that was on a tower. It was not at ground level, and I'm not sure how high up the tower, how far above the ground that report or that recording of that 83-mile-per-hour wind gust was. But just an idea of the power that these storms that we're tracking potentially could have. And again, we do have reports of power outages in the greater Florence area. In our immediate area, there's one tornado warning. That is in Giles County in southern Middle Tennessee. That is just outside of our coverage area. We are going to keep an eye on that storm for you folks in Lincoln County in the event that that storm perhaps could prompt a warning. Now, ahead of the line of storms, as you are probably well aware if you've been out and about today, the storms themselves are going to bring a strong wind threat ahead of the line of storms, even before there's any rain, any thunder and lightning out there. We are going to see winds gusting above 40 miles per hour. And we have gotten a couple reports of that have brought down a few trees in parts of Madison County. Just some of those strong wind gusts in advance of this main line. But this is what we are tracking this evening. It's what we've been talking about for the last several days, about the potential for a damaging line of storms coming across North Alabama with that threat for damaging wind, the primary concern. And that's what we have going on right now. The yellow boxes that you see here across basically all of northwest Alabama and now heading into the I-65 corridor, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And there's a high likelihood that we're going to have severe thunderstorm warnings for everyone before the night is out. So I'm going to track some of this for you. Just bear in mind here, we are on the live stream. And if you are following on social media and you do have some questions as we go along, we will certainly take those. And I see we've already got one wanting to know about Fayetteville. So I am going to chat about that. And I will let you know that I'm going to be continuing to monitor these storms if I see any indications that there's any rotation developing and that there is the possibility that we are going to get any sort of tornado warnings issued. We will have to jump off here and go into our main studio to get on air. The stream will come back where you're going to see what we are putting out there as far as our wall-to-wall coverage for any tornado warning activity. But again, if I have to jump away real quick, that will be the reason why. But let's kind of jump in here. Let me give you a look. I'll answer that question first. Again, we have a tornado-warned storm here in Giles County, Tennessee. And what we are watching with this one is rotation showing up in this storm. This is in the vicinity of, it looks like Kedron, I believe is the name of the community. A little east of Minor Hill. Again, this is a tornado warning for this particular thunderstorm. That's what it looks like with the wind velocity. You can kind of see here as well what we're keeping an eye on, this little notch right here, west of Aspen Hill. Again, this is Giles County, Tennessee. This looks like it's going to stay south of Pulaski. There is no warning for Lincoln County right now, but for the person on Facebook asking, and again, this will be for you, Anna. Let me track this. This is headed northeast. Probably it would stay away from Fayetteville. It'll be close. If this does hold on And we get a tornado warning for Lincoln County there in southern Middle Tennessee out of this storm. This is the part of Lincoln County that it will track through, generally northwest of Fayetteville, but the McBurg area, Boones Hill area, in that part of Lincoln County. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. Otherwise, our immediate concern is for a line of severe thunderstorms coming across northwest Alabama that will be continuing to work its way eastward with time as we take you through the next several hours. So let me kind of track all this out for you. And we'll show you when this is going to be headed through. Again, this is the time of arrival for this line of storms that is going to have the capability of producing some strong wind gust. That could be 50, 60 miles per hour. I'm going to check on some of the weather observations after I take you through this storm track. So the line will be reaching Rogersville here in the next 10 minutes. It is still just to your west. It will reach Athens, the leading edge of this line, around 11:44. Into the Decatur area around 11:56. Huntsville, about a quarter after 12. That's downtown. It'll hit you in northwest, West Huntsville first, and then arriving in the downtown area around 12:15. If you're in Lacey Spring, it will be coming in around 12:24. And into the New Hope area, this will be arriving around 12:38. Looks like we did just get a severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln County as well, so that is going to be for that line. You know, we have the tornado warned storm in Giles County. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Lincoln County. So hopefully that's a good sign that maybe the National Weather Service, yes, okay. So for you folks in Lincoln County, Tennessee, who are concerned about the storm in Giles County, so this is, and the National Weather Service in Huntsville covers Lincoln County. The National Weather Service in Nashville covers Giles County. So the Huntsville Weather Office says the new severe thunderstorm warning in southern Middle Tennessee is for the storm that prompted the tornado warning in Giles County. We will keep an eye on it as it pushes east into Lincoln County to see if a downstream tornado warning is needed. For now, they are just going with a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, they're watching it. Again, I'm watching it as well. If a tornado warning does come out for Lincoln County, we will jump off of here briefly to go track that from our main studio on the television side of things. And we should have the stream back up here while we're doing that as well. But let's take a look here. Again, this is what we're tracking right now. I do want to go in. So this line of storms has come through or is in the process of moving through the Muscle Shoals area. So we do have a weather station out there at the airport in Muscle Shoals. Yeah, we'll do a quick look here and see what we're getting wind-wise. So with the line coming through the Muscle Shoals Airport, looks like we've had some wind gust at 40 miles per hour, or even a little bit higher. Had an earlier gust of 43 with that storm that came through the airport there in Muscle Shoals. So hopefully we're going to keep winds maybe in that range, but there is some concern that we could get winds much stronger than that. Let me take a look here. We're going to focus in on a few areas. You know, one of the things I'm monitoring along this line, are there any areas of rotation developing that are a concern? I don't see anything here. I'm going to switch to a different radar. I don't see anything here of concern. This is going to be our live radar out of Muscle Shoals. It's being a lot of the beam energy is being intercepted by all the rainfall, so that's why we're not getting a large picture here. But you can see the heaviest of those storms are now pulling away from Florence, pulling away from Muscle Shoals. And I will say, once this line has passed, so I mean, here's some good news I can give you if you want some good news. if you are back to the west here, the area that I've circled, if you are in that part of Lauderdale County, basically Florence to the state line, if you are in Colbert County near Barton, back to the state line, and if you are west of Russellville to the state line there in Franklin County, this does include places like Florence, like Cherokee, Waterloo, Red Bay. Severe weather threat for you folks is over. You can go to bed. We're not going to see anything else come in behind the main line. So you are good to go in those portions of Lauderdale, Colbert, and Franklin County that I've circled. And once this main line clears your location, you're going to be good to go to bed. Because again, there's nothing back here. There's rain that will continue back here, but we're not expecting any additional severe weather threats with any of that. Still some rain, some thunder and lightning perhaps. So the severe weather threat is basically going to be along and ahead of this line. It's a fairly narrow line. Once you get the heavier storms moving through, you know, you probably got, I don't know, maybe we'll say 30 minutes tops. 30 minutes tops. It's going to be rough. It's going to be windy. It's going to be heavy rain. It's going to be a lot of thunder and lightning. 30 minutes of that, and then once the line has moved to your east, you're going to be good to go for the rest of the night. So again, hey, we're already starting to give some of you folks in the northwest corner of the state the all clear, so that is always a good thing. But with that said, I think everyone's going to be under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's just what I'm anticipating, is that we're going to see severe thunderstorm warnings along this entire line that are going to be issued for the area as everything continues to roll on through. Quick look here. Some reports in southern Tennessee, near the state line. So this would be right along the Lauderdale border with southern middle Tennessee, where that storm moved through earlier, that there were some 1-foot tree limbs in the roadway. So those would be tree limbs an inch in diameter. So those are some pretty big limbs. Brought down, again, right around the state line area. There, Lauderdale County heading into Lawrence County in southern middle Tennessee. So some reports of some trees down there. Getting back here into our storm in Giles County. I will say this doesn't look quite as ominous as it did. Pull it back up full screen. It's still a strong storm. There is still a tornado warning for Giles County. Again, for now, the National Weather Service in Huntsville for Lincoln County is keeping a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. And I will say, just based on the way the storm looks, it maybe appears that rotation is kind of going away. Still may be a little bit here in the vicinity of Bunker Hill. Let me circle the area. There you see the latest update. It's really kind of going away. So I think probably we're not going to get a tornado warning for Lincoln County at this point in time. Let me circle where the circulation remains in this general area. Say somewhere between Bunker Hill and Frank Ewing. But that really seems to be going away in terms of rotation. I'm going to widen the view here. We're going to take this back in time a little bit. And we'll show you back towards Minor Hill, right here. This was at 10:57. Time now is around 11:20. Right here around Minor Hill. And again, this is when the storm came out of Lauderdale County, close to Lexington. Definitely some circulation showing up there. That shows up fairly well defined. But as this has traversed Giles County there in southern middle Tennessee, we've kind of lost that signature. So I don't think we are going to see, I don't think we're going to get a tornado warning for Lincoln County. So for you folks there in Lincoln County, I don't think that's going to happen. Severe thunderstorm warning for you for the possibility for some damaging wind. But tornado warning looks like that is not going to be forthcoming for you folks in Lincoln County with this storm. Another update here from the Weather Service. They believe right now the line is not as favorable for tornadoes as it was. And really, the favorability for tornadoes had to do with an individual storm that moved out of Mississippi and across northwest Alabama. That was kind of absorbed by the main line. And so it appears that, at least for the moment, the tornado threat perhaps is ebbed. There's probably going to be some strong wind, though, that comes through here. So let me track this for you. Again, it appears there's not going to be a tornado warning, but if you are in Boones Hill, here in Lincoln County, northwest of Fayetteville, coming in the next 10 minutes, probably some very strong wind, perhaps 60-mile-per-hour wind or stronger. This will also be tracking towards Petersburg and Belleville, there in northern Lincoln County and southern Middle Tennessee. But it appears there's not going to be a tornado warning issued or extended from the current warning. So we got that moving through. Then there's a little break in the line right along the state line. And then the storms do pick back up again here across North Alabama. So let's kind of track some of this out first. And then I'm going to take just a closer look inside the storms. So you see the line here stretching from Rogersville to Town Creek. This is going to be building towards you folks in Athens and Decatur. Rogersville, again, bearing down on you as we speak. That's hitting right into town right now. Heavy rainfall, some gusty wind perhaps. North Cortland area by 11:30. Hillsboro, 11:43. Athens, 11:46. Trinity, they're on Alabama Highway 20. Alternate 72, 11:51. Decatur, downtown, 11:58, and into the Madison Crossroads area around midnight. Again, all this is building eastward with time. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. We take you down into Lawrence County. Storms moving out of Franklin and Colbert County, moving across Lawrence County. Time all this out. You're going to see some repeats here, Hillsboro, Decatur, Trinity. But Moulton, around 11:39 approximately, this line will be reaching you. If you are in Speak, 11:52. Hartselle, around 12:05. That's when this part of the line will be arriving in those parts of Morgan County. Let's take a look at any spin that's developing along the line. This is using radar out of Jackson County. I don't really see anything here that's catching my eye as far as any spinning along the line, but certainly some strong wind along the line. Take another look here. It's a different perspective. Using our Decatur radar. Nothing of concern there. Again, if you are behind the heaviest part of this line of storms, you're good. You will have some rain, a little rumble of thunder out there with some lightning strikes, but you are good. If you are in, let's just go ahead and give you the all clear. If you're in Florence, you're good to go for the night. Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, Tuscumbia, the Quad Cities out here, you're good to go. You've got rain. The storms have moved east of you. No other threat of severe weather is going to be moving back into these areas. So again, Florence, Muscle Shoals area, you are okay to go to bed. I know we've had some power outages here. Let me take a look, see what I can find out about those. Got a website that I use. Can't show it to you, but I can tell you what's being reported. Again, Lauderdale County. What's being reported in Lauderdale County, more than 9,500 customers without electricity. That's the big standout in the state. And a lot of those are probably in the Florence area. So again, we did have some strong wind that moved through Florence, it appears. Colbert County, 928 customers are out. Franklin County, that number drops to 160. But Lauderdale County, a little bit more than 9,500 customers are without power right now in Lauderdale County. Update on the Lincoln County, the storm getting ready to move into Lincoln County, Tennessee. Again, the Weather Service not planning on a downstream tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect. There is a tornado possible tag with that, but no severe thunderstorm or no tornado warning at this point is anticipated for that storm. In fact, it looks like the tornado warning is being allowed to expire there in Giles County, or has expired. Just checking a couple other things here. I know we had some issues with the earlier stream. I hope those are resolved now. So I'm going to hop on over here. Expand the radar view so you got that. You can kind of see where everything is. Again, our concern at this point in time, it appears just kind of based on the environmental conditions, at least for now, the tornado threat down, not out, but down. The threat for some strong wind gusts will remain a concern as this line comes on through. And we do have the severe thunderstorm warnings. But let me kind of run through here. We are streaming everywhere, I believe. Let me just do a quick check here on our website. Our digital team was supposed to be making sure that we are hopefully streaming there. But I'm going to run through Facebook and take a look at the comments and see what I can answer. So yeah, so we're streaming on our website. We're streaming on our apps. This is something that you can expect from us going forward. If we're not live on air, we're typically are only going to interrupt our regular broadcast, whatever that may be, on the television side of things, if there's a life-threatening weather situation, we're talking tornado warning, or if there is widespread confirmed significant damaging wind coming through. Those are the two times that we're going to be what we call wall-to-wall on the television side of things. The great thing about digital is we can do this sort of coverage in a lot of different places at the same time. People that want to watch their shows, like now, people in Florence that have power, and in other areas of northwest Alabama that the threat is passed, maybe they want to catch whatever we're showing on the television side of things. But here on the digital side, we're not interrupting any sort of program. We're just providing you added coverage here. So we are on social media channels. We are on our website, waaytv.com. And this is just information for you to know going forward. Live streaming on the WAAY 31 news app. We're live streaming on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather app. Basically, when we are live on our website, we're live on all those platforms. We also have streaming channels on your streaming devices, if you were not aware of that. We are on Amazon Fire. There's a WAAY 31 app for Amazon Fire. Go to the App Store there on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and on Roku. Search for WAAY 31. We have a streaming app, and whenever we're live, we're streaming there as well with this weather coverage. So lots of places. Where I can interact with you, though, is on social media, because you can comment and ask questions. So I am headed to that now. We will do some more tracking. Again, I don't see anything imminent in terms of a tornado threat along this line of storms, but certainly some strong wind with the line and even ahead of it, outside of any storm activity. All right, so let me take a look here. I'm just going to check a couple places. Let's see here. So a few questions. Anna, I'm glad I was able to answer your questions about Lincoln County. Susan commenting, it's very windy. This is about 15 minutes or so ago. How long till it gets to Madison? I'll track things out here in just a second. Got a few other people checking in as well. And I'll get back to tracking all this out here for those of you that are maybe just now joining us. Let me head on over to the WAAY 31 Facebook. We also have a sizable amount of people. And I'm just going to check the comments here, see what I can answer. Let's see. Some people appreciative of the information, watching from Trinity, Decatur. Misty, about 15 minutes ago, asking about the Tony area. Are we good? Not yet. Storms have not reached you in Tony. They've not reached that part of northwest Madison County yet. So you still have the storms to go there in Tony. But again, once the main line comes and goes, you should be good. And we'll continue. I'll continue to give the all clear. Watching from Trinity, Huntsville. Someone's saying no sound, but others are saying sound is good. So maybe, sometimes I forget to turn my phone volume up, or I forget and I have the ringer turned off. So it could be just as simple as that for those that aren't able to hear. Wind is getting up in Town Creek. Yep, you've got the heavier storms moving through right now. Again, some continued questions about a few individual spots and people checking in. One last check here for the moment. We do stream on YouTube. If you were not aware, WAAY 31 has a YouTube channel. We actually have more than 150,000 subscribers to that channel. So if you can't find us on your streaming apps, or let's say you don't have Amazon Fire, or you don't have Roku, or you don't have an Apple TV, but you have another streaming device, if you just go to YouTube and you go to the WAAY 31 YouTube channel, when we are live with weather coverage, we're live streaming there as well. So I'm checking that out right now. We got a few people watching us here. Some people saying there the audio is low, so let me turn the mic up just a little bit. Hopefully that will help. And just a few people checking in. One asking about Russellville. Russellville, you're good. So for the person on YouTube asking about Russellville, you're good to go. So let's get back in here. Again, what do we got going on? Well, we got a line of storms moving across North Alabama. We have severe thunderstorm warnings associated with these storms. At this point in time, the tornado threat is not particularly high, but it doesn't mean that that won't change with time as these storms move through. Our main concern at the moment is going to be for some strong damaging wind gusts and the potential we could see some of those gusts in excess of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Let's see. Do you have a report in Hatton of some straight line wind? Don't have a number on those. So again, that's our main concern at this point, is going to be for some strong straight line wind as these storms continue to roll on through. With that said, there is a tornado watch in effect. Let me pull this up for you. Until 3 a.m. I will be fairly close here. I'd give it maybe around midnight. National Weather Service may start dropping some counties from the tornado watch in the northwest corner of the state. We're close to perhaps that being able to happen. But until then, there is a tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning. But I want to stress, it's not just a tornado threat. It is going to be the threat for damaging wind gusts. 60, 70 mile per hour winds, possibility, medium risk for that. Large hail at this point looks unlikely. Now, we did have some hail with the earlier storm that moved through Colbert County and into Lauderdale County. Again, that was an individual storm, so that one was structured a little bit different than the line is. That one did have some hail with it. I've not seen any reports, but I'm pretty confident we did have some hail that came out of that storm. And hey, if you did get some hail and you took a picture of it around Cherokee, Barton, maybe west of Florence, even in Florence, love to see that. You can email that to me. You can email to share@waaytv.com and also on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker weather app. If you go down on the main page when the app loads up, you go all the way to the bottom, there is a link that you can click on to upload photos. That really helps tell the story. That gives us some ground truth to what we've been seeing on radar. But I think at this point, large hail is going to be the least of our concerns, unlikely. Again, it's going to be the strong damaging wind, and it is going to be the possibility for perhaps, although at the moment it appears environmental conditions are not as favorable, but for those line-embedded spin-up type of tornadoes. So let's take you back to the radar, and we will start you off, I believe, that's the zoomed-in picture. Let's show you the wide view. In fact, I will show you what we call the composite view. And I'm going to take off the warnings. And you see this extensive line of storms. It starts here on the Indiana-Ohio border, snakes down west of Cincinnati. Line continues across the entire state of Kentucky. Continues into Tennessee. The leading edge of the storms is past Nashville, and then it arcs back to the south and west into North Alabama, generally west of I-65. You head into southern Tennessee, right along there, 65, just north of Ardmore. This line of storms goes back to Columbus, Mississippi, to Jackson, into Louisiana, and look at that. Now, although it's not as intense here, but this line goes all the way into the Gulf, off the coast of Texas. So this is an extensive line of storms coming through. So what do we got going on locally? Kind of zoom in here. We have strong to severe thunderstorms now bearing down on Athens in Limestone County, bearing down on Moulton in Lawrence County. If you're up here in southern middle Tennessee, storms are bearing down on you in Fayetteville. The one that prompted the tornado warning earlier. Yeah. Hey, Lainey. Okay. Let me turn.
It was just the people on Facebook that couldn't really hear you.
Okay.
Or YouTube, but Facebook.
Facebook and all that's good. Okay. So I'm adjusting the volume a little bit. So maybe the people on YouTube that said the volume wasn't high, maybe turn your volume up a little bit. All right. I don't want to blow out anyone's eardrums while we're doing this. Okay, Lincoln County, Tennessee. We do continue to see storms rolling through as well, with severe thunderstorm warnings in effect here also. All right, let's go down into Limestone County. Kind of track out some of this. Do want to take a quick look here. Just always got to be checking the wind velocity and if there's anything spinning on the leading edge of these storms. Right now, I don't see that. So I think here in Limestone County, if we're seeing anything, it's going to be strong straight line wind coming through. But let's kind of track some of this out for you in Limestone County. I'm just going to do a quick check here, just to make sure that we're tracking these at the right speed. Moving east at 40. So it looks like maybe things have slowed a little bit. Let's go ahead and track some of this. Earlier, the storms were moving east at about 50, so let's slow them down a little bit. We'll say 45. We'll say this line's coming east at 45 and see where that's going to place everything. So for this area, which will also include parts of Huntsville, like I said, bearing down on Athens, Tanner around 1152. If you're in the Madison Crossroads area, around 11:57. Madison proper, around 12:10, so around midnight. Still looks like around midnight-ish for the Madison-Huntsville area. Downtown Huntsville, 12:21. Greenfield, around 12:24. Go south along the line into Lawrence County. Storms extend from Hillsborough back to Moulton. Again, a quick check here. I don't see anything spinning on the leading edge of these storms. So the winds are all blowing in the same direction. But let's track some of this. Again, these are all severe thunderstorm warnings with this activity. Again, moving east around 40. So Trinity coming in the next 10 minutes or so. We will be into the Wolftown area around 11:56. Decatur right about midnight. Mooresville around 12:07. Priceville around 12:10. Madison 12:17. Somerville around 12:23. Again, this is when the leading edge will reach you. And then lastly, let's take you down south of Moulton. Storms are moving across the Bankhead National Forest. Hopefully no one is down there camping for the night, but if they are, they're hopefully staying weather aware. So this, we'll track this through southern Morgan County, northern Coleman County. Coleman County starts to get out of our coverage area. Technically it's the Birmingham TV market, but I know there are folks, particularly Vinemont and northward, that do keep up with us in the Huntsville TV station world. Ran around 11:54 in Speak by 12:03. Jones Chapel 12:13. Hartselle 12:21. Vinemont around 12:26. Again, these are all storms that have severe thunderstorm warnings associated with them, and I think we'll continue to get more of those. Those of you in the Huntsville area probably just got the alert. I know I got something on my phone for severe thunderstorm warning. That does include pretty much the remainder of Madison County. So again, we are going to see, this is what we're going to see. This is what we're going to see. We're going to see severe thunderstorm warnings for this entire line. So everyone, I think, is going to be under severe thunderstorm warning before the night is out. So just expect that. Right now, I'll say that the leading edge of the storms is not incredibly fierce looking, but there is going to be that potential for seeing some strong wind. I'm just going to check things here. The information that I have. Cortland, the Cortland area there in northwestern Lawrence County. For those of you not familiar, Cortland's right there along Alabama Highway 20, alternate 72 in that part of Lawrence County. Wind gusts there of 46 miles per hour. That's sub-severe. 58 mile per hour wind or higher is considered severe wind. So it looks like we're staying just below that. But some winds, 50, maybe up to 60, is a possibility in some of these storms right now. Looks like some pea-sized hail reported in the Hatton area. There has been a structure fire in Hatton, by the way. I've been seeing some information about that from the Lawrence County EMA. And apparently those there battling that structure fire reporting some pea-sized hail. Again, that is in Hatton in Lawrence County. Update here from the Weather Service. I mentioned this just a short time ago. They plan on dropping Lauderdale, Colbert, and Franklin County out of the tornado watch. So that will be coming, so as expected. And I figured probably around midnight that would happen. So that is going to happen. So let's take a look here. Again, where can we give you the all clear? West of this line. So Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin County, you're going to be dropped from the watch. Severe weather threat is over. You can go to bed in these areas. Still will have some rain. There'll still be some rumbles of thunder. That will be it. Nothing worse than that the rest of tonight. Again, along and ahead of this line, moving through now Limestone to Lawrence County, about ready to head into northwest Morgan County towards Trinity. There is going to be a continued threat for some severe weather moving through. And perhaps, maybe a brief spin-up type of tornado. Just not seeing that as a concern for the moment. It is something that we're continuing to watch here. And I also want to let you know, I'll step away for a moment. You probably won't hear me because I'm going to be too far away from the receiver for this microphone. But you're still going to see me doing some things. We will be doing a top of the hour next update on the on-air side of things. Sorry, I'm getting some notifications here. What you don't see here is over here, and I'm getting some messages that what I'm doing with the stream is being interrupted. So I hope that's not causing problems here in what you're seeing on the stream, but it appears we're still up and running. So I think we're good here. And we're not too far behind. So when you see me glancing off here, I'm just checking things to make sure everything's working so that we can continue to give you this information. All right, let me go ahead and put things back up full screen here for you. And take a look. So this is our severe potential. Basically along and ahead of all of this. Bright colors, those are your bigger thunderstorms. The good news is this is fairly narrow. So once you start to get hit by the heavy rain, the gusty wind, the thunder and lightning, it's probably only going to be something that's going to last maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops. And then that's it. And then it's going to be out of here, and we're going to be able to give you the all clear. So this is kind of what we're waiting for to come through. But again, I anticipate we'll continue to have severe thunderstorm warnings issued. Power outages being reported in the Hatton and Cortland community of Lawrence County. We have officially dropped Colbert, Franklin, and Lauderdale County from the tornado watch. So again, you folks out in the shoals in far northwest Alabama, you can go to bed and enjoy the rest of your evening and your night without any sort of big weather concerns. Along and ahead of this line, though, Athens, Decatur, Moulton points eastward, including the greater Huntsville area. Threat will continue for several more hours. We are eventually going to see this over into Sand Mountain, but it is going to be after midnight for you folks over in that direction. So if you're wanting to stay weather aware and kind of keep an eye on things, that just gives you an idea. If you're over here, let me kind of expand. So if you're over here, Jackson, Marshall, DeKalb County, you're going to be looking around we'll say storms kind of pushing into this area. For some of you, before 1 o'clock, particularly if you're in western Jackson County, west of Scottsboro. If you're in Marshall County, it's probably going to be a little closer to 1 before stuff really starts moving into Marshall County. Fort Payne, it's probably going to be a little closer to 2. But then shortly after that, this is all going to clear and be out of the area completely. But for you folks over here in Sand Mountain, again, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County, I would anticipate the bulk of this activity coming through for you between 1 and 2 in the morning. And then most of it should clear shortly after that. So still kind of a waiting game for you folks. Let's pull up the tornado watch. Should have updated. So there you go. Those are the areas that are dropped. Also in southern Middle Tennessee, Lawrence and Wayne County. Not exactly our coverage area, but we put them on the map. Also cleared from the tornado watch. So tornado watch remains in effect. Lawrence, Limestone, Morgan, Coleman County, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County, Madison County, also Giles, Lincoln, and Franklin County, southern Middle Tennessee. But probably within the next hour, just based on the way things are moving. probably going to be able to clear Lawrence County and maybe Limestone County, I'd say within an hour from now. All right, let me get back over here. I'm going to do a quick look at the comments. Let me check over here on YouTube. Oh, I see now. Checking YouTube. So apparently on YouTube we are not in stereo. That's what it is. So that's why some people were having trouble hearing us, I think, on YouTube. So we are at least on that stream. I don't know if that's the way everywhere, but not in stereo. Check here. Just check some of the comments. This will be on WAAY 31 Facebook page. Let me kind of roll back here a little bit. Just a lot of people checking in. All right, saw the small hail in the Hatton area. And just some people checking in. Let me check my page. My meteorologist Jeff Castle Facebook page. We're live streaming there as well. Just check the comments. And a lot of people checking in. Connorsville, Indiana. So Jordan asking, safe to go to sleep, but Jordan, it looks like you're in Huntsville. So not yet, Jordan. The storms will be coming into Huntsville, starting to move in probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes into Huntsville. We'll be able to give Huntsville, I think, the all clear no later than 1 a.m. and maybe a little bit before then. But for now, Jordan, storms are not yet in Huntsville. Tamara, checking in from Coxie. Storms have cleared you in Coxie. The heaviest stuff is towards Athens. Janelle asking about Town Creek. You're good in Town Creek. Janelle, you are okay in Town Creek to go to bed. The heaviest storms now are east of you. We are not expecting any other big storms to come through tonight, but there will be some continued rain. Billy reporting super heavy rain in Elkmont. Winds 35 knots, thunder and lightning, still have power. Just one little blip in the electric, that's all. That's good. So that's in the Elkmont area. For those of you not familiar, Elkmont is north of Athens in northern Limestone County. And you're right in the thick of it there in the Elkmont area right now. A little bit of hail. Hey, Rania, good to see you. A little bit of hail in Elkmont being reported right now. All right. So with that said, again, I am getting ready to do just a live over-the-air update. So I'm going to run to our main studio to do that. But I'll leave the radar up here. You're going to see it moving around. And I'll be back in just a second. We will keep the live stream going. But I will be back with you in, let's say, about 5 minutes or so. Did you get all that? We're good to go at midnight? Okay. We're back. Give me just a second. This computer, I need to see about changing that. This one computer goes to sleep if you're not doing anything on it for about 5 minutes or so. But we're back logged in here. You may have heard me. I don't know if, again, the receiver for the microphone for in here stretched that far. Meteorologist Lainey Pugh in the other studio keeping an eye on things. She did let me know she was hearing me periodically on the live stream, but it was kind of cutting in and out. All right, so I don't know if you caught any of that. Again, that was our live update. One of the things we do in severe weather coverage when we declare a 31 alert day, you know, I like a 31 alert day to mean something, which means we're not going to treat it like a normal weather day. We're going to do things differently. And so when we do 31 alert days, we do on-air updates at regular intervals, usually at the top of every hour. Again, if we're going to declare an alert day, we want it to be something a little bit different. So that's one of the things we do. So that's why I had to step away. But again, severe thunderstorm warnings do continue. I think these will continue to be extended eastward. So for those of you in Jackson, Marshall, DeKalb County, not under a warning yet, probably will happen before the night is out. All right, quick look here at the Weather Service chat. As they're talking to a lot of people, and they, you know, we just have a couple here at the station. Me and Lainey is it, but the Weather Service in contact with, of course, with all their contacts, different EMA offices around the area. So I'm just seeing what they are seeing. That's, if anything, different than what I'm seeing, or any damage updates. We do have a report out of Lawrence County, multiple trees down on Highway 33 near Bankhead National Forest near Wren. I mentioned Wren on the storm track that I did just a few moments ago. Got a report, this is non-thunderstorm related, tree down on Carter's Gin Road in Huntsville. But again, that is non-thunderstorm wind. We not only have the threat of strong wind with the line of storms coming through, but just the ambient wind. If you were out today, I mean, I noticed it was very windy. We were expecting that. There is a wind advisory outside of the severe weather threat. So we've just had plenty of wind out there as well. So some of these reports of some trees down are just due to what we call the gradient wind, which is just associated with this whole system coming through, and the wind with it has been at times producing gusts above 40. So again, that is even outside of thunderstorm activity. All right, again, I'm going to put the radar up full, and we're going to do a little tracking. We're going to do a little analysis of the storms. I think I'll do the analysis first, just to make sure nothing tornado-wise that's trying to sneak in. Heavy storms around Fayetteville, Tennessee. You've got the heavy rain there, Fayetteville down to Bellevue. About ready to move into Park City there along 231, 431 there, going across the state line. Quick check here. Any spinny stuff happening? And the answer is no. So as far as tornado potential, for now the storms are behaving themselves. Let's go along the line, northwest Madison County. I don't see anything here of any concern. What we'd be looking for, and for those of you familiar with the velocity product and what that measures is the wind blowing toward or away from the radar. Blowing toward the radar is indicated in green. Winds blowing away from the radar is indicated in red. And then you have what we call the purple haze, which is just bad data. And that can sometimes complicate things when you get that. But as far as along the line of storms, and this is, you can pick this out with the wind right here. This is the leading edge. And you saw it just update. That's the leading edge of the storms. And there's nothing spinny here. You'd be looking for areas of green and areas of red next to each other and along the radial of the beam. And I don't see that. Nothing that catches my eye. Limestone County, same thing. all the wind that's being detected is blowing in the same direction as opposed to opposing directions. Morgan County, same story, nothing twisting, nothing spinning here, Coleman and Winston County. So we are good for the moment from any sort of spin-up tornado threats. But it is something that we're continuing to watch. And when I'm tracking these things, that's what I do. I'm constantly staring at the radar. But that's so that I can anticipate any sort of organization in the storm that would alert me to a concern about tornado potential. And again, not seeing that. All right, so let's kind of track this out. Heavier storms southeast of Moulton. Again, there are severe thunderstorm warnings for all of this down into Coleman County, across Morgan County, into parts of Marshall County. Here's the time of arrival, just tracking the leading edge of all of this. Hartselle coming in 12:13, Falkville 12:18, Coleman 12:26, Eva coming in around 12:33, Simcoe Community 12:35, Holly Pond 12:44, Arab 12:52, Brooksville 12:54. I'm going to clear this off. We're going to go up the line. Athens, worst of it is moving out. Decatur, the worst of it is sitting on top of you. I'm going to show you some cameras as well here. Sometimes I forget to show you the live pictures, although at night there's sometimes not a lot to see unless there's a lot of lightning. All right, these storms coming out of East Limestone and the Decatur area and across Madison and northern Morgan County. Madison proper in the next few minutes. Already the west side of town along County Line Road. We've got heavy downpours there. Along and south of 72 on County Line, heavy rainfall, some thunder and lightning. And again, Madison center of town by 12:12. Meridianville 12:17. Downtown Huntsville 12:21 is when these storms will be arriving in that part of town. The Moontown area there on 72 over Chapman Mountain 12:31. Lacey Spring around 12:33. Princeton in northwest Jackson County 12:42. New Hope in southeast Madison County 12:49. And Skyline also in northern northwestern Jackson County around 12:53. And lastly, let's check for you folks in Lincoln County. Again, the worst of the storms coming through Fayetteville as we speak, but things are about to improve there. Let's track some of this, though, through Lincoln County, northern Madison County, and into Franklin County, Tennessee. Again, this is the whole line moving through. We've got Flintville, 12:15, Newmarket, 12:19, Winchester, Tennessee, 12:29, Deckard, Tennessee, 12:31, Cowan, Tennessee, 12:38, Sewanee, Tennessee, 12:43, Sherwood, Tennessee, around 12:52. Again, severe thunderstorm warning for all of these areas with these storms moving through, capable of producing some damaging wind primarily. Not seeing a tornado issue at the moment. Let me do a quick check of hail. And right offhand, maybe a little bit. A little hail core here, southeast Lawrence County, the southeast of Moulton, southwest Hartselle. That's likely not sizable. What we've gotten hail report-wise out of this line has been pea-sized hail, so that may be some of that there. I really don't see anything else in terms of hail. Quick look at wind shear. This will show us a couple things where there could be strong straight line wind. I know it's labeled rotation. That's typically what we use it for, just to kind of confirm areas of rotation. But it can also indicate where there could be some strong straight line wind. That's probably what we're seeing here, Tullahoma, Estill Springs. Flip that on over. Yep, probably some indications of that. I don't think we have any twisting of the wind here, but definitely a wind shift. So that would be indicative of some straight line wind. A couple other areas, let's see here, near Mooresville. I'm just going to do a quick check what that looks like on radar. No twisting. So this would be maybe some strong straight line wind there in southeast Limestone County, and I don't really see anything anywhere else. That's a concern. Just taking a little camera tour, Decatur. Yep, that is looking towards the Tennessee River Bridge, Highway 31, going from Morgan into Limestone County on our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam network. So torrential rain coming down there in Decatur. We take you out to Muscle Shoals. Again, the severe threat has ended here. If you're watching earlier when we had the tornado warning, we actually had a lowering that we were seeing on this camera looking into Lauderdale County. No reports, no confirmed tornado reports there. And right now it's just rain in Muscle Shoals, Little Thunder. Here's Huntsville. Not quite storming yet at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, but that'll be coming here again, probably in the next 10 minutes or so. I think things will change. Gunnersville, still kind of a wait and see. You do see, we got this one pointed back towards the west and the southwest. I think when I just flipped it over, maybe caught a little, yep, there you can see a little bit of lightning off in the distance. So these are still a ways away from you in Gunnersville, but you'll get your chance. That's mislabeled. And let's see, this is, no, that one's mislabeled too. Let's take a look here. Get you back on radar. Pull myself back up. Again, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings lined up here. Fairly narrow line of storms, as was expected. Again, once these hit you, 20, 30 minutes tops, and then that's going to be it. Athens, give you the all clear. If you're in Athens and you want to go to bed, go ahead. Strongest storms are off to your east and southeast, and I don't think you have anything else to worry about. Decatur, we're almost there. And again, back here in the northwest corner of the state in the shoals, you're good to go. There's still rain. Severe threat has ended. Again, basically along this line and it points eastward is going to be that potential. Let me do a quick check here. Excuse me. Decatur, let's see what kind of wind we saw there at Pryor Field. Okay, we got some wind in Decatur. This is at Pryor Field. Wind gust of 55 miles per hour. So these storms are packing a lot of wind. I didn't put my trash out. I'll do that when I get home, anticipating that we'd have wind like this. And again, these are with storms. We've had winds above 40 outside of the storms. So quite a few wind hazards out there. But again, as the storms move through Pryor Field, that's north of Decatur, that's on the Limestone County side. If you're familiar where Pryor Field is, between Athens and Decatur, not pretty close there to where Calhoun is on Highway 31. That's where Pryor Field is, the airport there. Again, wind gust reported, measured wind gust of 55. So that is almost severe, which would be 58 or higher. So we're right in that range. So that's kind of what you can anticipate as these come on through. Is that possibility, maybe some 60-mile-per-hour wind? We're probably seeing that in a few locations. Through the city of Madison right now, that's a possibility. What I am noting here, a couple things. Going to take a quick look. Just for peace of mind. Yep, they noted also the 55 mile per hour gust in Decatur at Pryor Field. I was checking some other stuff. Pea-sized hail in Fayetteville. Talking about they'll be canceling more counties as the line clears. Just an update on the warnings. Watching the cell near Plevna, northern Madison County. Let me take a look there. Nothing right offhand. We'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, again, nothing real concerning here at the moment in terms of tornado threat. Now, again, the wind threat, yes. So, again, we had that gust of 55 that moved through Pryor Field in Decatur. Roll it back here. It's going to be right on the leading edge. So that is certainly a possibility of wind gust above 50, maybe upwards of 60. And this is coming through Huntsville right now. So I would prepare, again, a couple areas to watch. Particularly where, let me kind of illustrate this. You do have to watch sometimes where you start to see in the pattern here, you start to see it bow out a little bit. That can be indicative of a strong push of wind. And then sometimes on the northern extent of this, you can get a little spin that develops where it bows out on the northern extent. Don't see anything extremely concerning, but we're going to keep an eye on all of that. Again, intense storm here off of Jordan Lane, Highway 53. Basically where Research Park Boulevard hits Highway 53. Very heavy rainfall. There may be some small hail here where you see the white and the pink color. Could be a little hail here. Could be some gusty wind. Pea-sized hail in Tony. Okay, this is interesting. Report of a tree across the road at Elkton and Bean Road in Limestone County, and also a porta potty in the road at Highway 72 in Mooresville. So, you know, doesn't take a lot of wind to knock those over, I guess. So just be aware, Highway 72 and Mooresville Road in that part of Limestone County, east of Athens, a porta potty in the road on 72. So, let's see. Clear this off of here. So we may have some strong wind coming into Newmarket, again, where it's kind of bowed out here. So just be aware of that. Wind gust in Decatur earlier of 55, so we're looking at, again, 50 to 60 mile per hour wind is a possibility as storms move through. Again, bearing down through Huntsville right now, almost to downtown. Looks like we've, if I pull up the camera from the Space and Rocket Center, I think it'll be looking a lot different than what I showed you just a moment ago. There we go. So the storms have arrived there. Torrential rain, you can actually see it kind of blowing around a good bit. They're at Old Madison Pike, 565 Wind Drive in the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. So very heavy rainfall there. looking from Calhoun towards U.S. Space and Rocket Center. So the wind and the rain have arrived in Huntsville. There you see the flashes of lightning right now. But the power is still on, so that's good news. But strong wind coming through. That extends down towards Triana. And I'm going to check the airport, Huntsville International. As the storms have just passed through there, let's see what kind of wind we picked up. Gust of 45 at the airport. We've had some gusts that strong. Again, just the ambient wind, what we call the gradient wind, earlier this evening, before the storms arrived. But it looks like with the storms, 45-mile-per-hour gust is the highest reported thus far at Huntsville International Airport. And the storms are right there, stretching down towards Triana. Very heavy rain in Madison right now. West Huntsville, west of downtown, about ready to hit downtown. Won't be too long before I'm probably hearing wind and rain. I've got a door that goes right outside here in the room that I'm in, and we'll probably be hearing that pretty shortly here on top of Montesano at the station. If you're in Morgan County, storms are a little bit, I'd say, more loosely organized, but still could have some strong wind here. So I think as far as strong wind goes, probably across Madison County, probably the greatest chance of 50, 60 mile per hour gust. So you do want to be inside, middle of the house, away from windows and doors, that sort of stuff, the things that we tell you for severe thunderstorms. Down in Morgan into Coleman County, I think the storms are maybe not quite as organized, but still may have some winds above 40 associated with the storms, and even some wind above 40 ahead of the storms are a possibility here. Quick check, let's check and see if there's any spinny stuff happening along the line. Don't see it there in Morgan County. I'm hearing some strong wind. I think it's reached us. There you saw the latest update. So yes, we're getting some strong wind here on Montesano right now. You saw the radar update. Here's the wind line, and I'm right about here. So we are getting some high wind here on Montesano. I'm definitely hearing it. I don't know if you can hear that. So again, very strong wind coming through. The possibility 50, 60 mile per hour gust coming across Madison County right now in areas of Huntsville. Yeah, it's blowing pretty good. I don't know if you can hear any of that over the microphone or not. Not seeing any spinning of the wind, any twisting of the wind that's of any concern at the moment. But if you are in Huntsville, again, we got very strong wind here outside our studio on top of Montesano. Maybe a little bit worse because of our elevation than down below. But still probably some pretty strong wind coming on through. So severe thunderstorm warnings do continue for Madison into Jackson County, Morgan into Marshall County. Also up here into southern middle Tennessee. Fayetteville, the worst is past. Winchester, the worst is yet to come. Let's track this line out. Again, it extends from the New Market area through Huntsville, approaching Lacey Spring, back through Hartselle. Track it all out for you. Lacey Spring around 1233, Joppa 1247, Arab 1250. Gunnersville around 104, Scottsboro 110, Crossville 130, Fort Payne arriving around 145. I think probably close to 2 o'clock. Most of this is probably going to be over and done with for all of the area. And again, a line of intense storms moving through. I'm hearing the wind here on top of Montesano. You're probably hearing it outside your windows across Madison County down into Morgan County. We've had some measured winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. Gust most recently at Huntsville International Airport at 12:22 of 51 miles per hour. We've had gusts up to 55 at Pryor Field outside of Decatur. We've had gusts above 50 earlier out in the Shoals, and there was a measured gust on a tower in Florence. Not sure how high above the ground, but on a tower nonetheless, of 83 miles per hour, and that was earlier. Most of the wind reports that we are getting are in the range of 50 to 60 with this line coming through. So that's going to be enough to knock out power. It's going to be enough to bring down some tree limbs, particularly maybe trees that maybe are not real healthy, maybe already dying a little bit. So good news, the trees are not really leafed out a whole lot. Otherwise, we might have more problems as far as that goes, if that were the case in these winds. Again, 50 to 60 on the winds coming through. And again, this is the time of arrival of all this. Kind of run through here and check on some of the comments, see what I can answer for you. Hail in Athens, a little bit of hail in Elkmont. I assume most of it's small. Check the WAAY 31 Facebook page. See what we got going on here. Just some people asking where we can, I'll do the all clear here. Again, some more reports, hail in Madison, hail in Tony. For those of you that are reporting the hail, can just give me an idea. Is it just small pea-sized hail? I suspect that's probably all we got out there. Maybe hearing it hitting the windows with the wind. But that will help me out a little bit. If you can just let me know what hail size we're talking about. Last look here. On YouTube, just checking some of the comments. All right. Nothing really there that I can answer. Report of a tree down in the Hazel Green area on Carter Grove Road. There's a report of a tree down there. Don't have anything more specific than that. Let me see here. Let me clear this off. Let's talk about where we're good to go to bed. Again, pretty well anywhere west of this line. So Athens, go to bed. If you're in Decatur, go to bed. And anywhere west of there, go to bed. You're good in Moulton. Of course, we've given you the all clear short time ago out in the Shoals. Athens, you're fine. Elkmont, if you're in Ardmore, Tennessee, you're good to go. Heaviest storms have cleared you to the east. Nothing else will come in overnight tonight that you have to worry about. It'll still be a little windy. It'll still be a little wet. But as far as severe weather goes, threat has ended in these areas that I'm mentioning. If you're in Fayetteville, Tennessee, you can go to bed. If you are in Trinity, you can go to bed. Danville, Neal area, Western Morgan County, you can go to bed. Again, all of Lawrence County, all of Lauderdale, Colbert, and Franklin County, all of Marion County, a little bit of Winston County left here, right along the Coleman border, but pretty close to clearing you there in all of Winston County. Haleyville, you're good to go. Done with the threat of severe weather. Again, the worst of it is coming through Huntsville right now, the greater Huntsville area, up towards Meridianville. We still have heavy storms that are going to be tracking. They're over the Arsenal right now. Let me zoom in a little closer, approaching South Parkway, far South Parkway. Plenty of rain there, downtown Huntsville. Let me take a look here at a couple things. You always look for these little things like this you look for on radar. And then you look and see, okay, so I see that. What does the wind velocity look like? Is there any spinning? There's not. So we're good there. Just to look here, that's nothing. So again, we're not seeing any spinning along the leading edge of this line. The wind, again, if it's green, it's blowing towards the radar. And pretty much along the leading edge of these storms, that wind is all blowing in the same direction. And same down into Morgan County and into even Coleman County as well. So we're not seeing any tornado potential here short term, but the tornado watch does remain in effect. So just bear that in mind. We'll see how these storms interact with the terrain in Sand Mountain. You probably have, those of you over in Sand Mountain have probably heard the phrase Sand Mountain magic. That some crazy things can sometimes happen when these storms interact with the terrain over there in Sand Mountain. So we're going to be keeping a close watch on that for you. Hearing the rain outside, still hearing the wind. But again, I'm not seeing any twisting of the wind, so that is some good news. All right. Trees and power lines down in Limestone County between Sugar Creek, Union Hill Road between Sugar Creek and Shelton. Tornado watch has been canceled for you folks in Marion County. Again, I just gave you the all clear there that we were fine. Well, that's all I have for you at the moment. So bottom line is, until the storms pass, just stay inside, kind of hunker down. Again, I'm not seeing a tornado threat, but definitely some strong wind potential, as we're talking about winds that could be 50, 60 miles per hour. And there is some potential for, maybe something a little bit stronger, not really seeing indications of that, picking up on that at this point. Just checking some messages, checking some email. Trying to find as much information as I can to pass along to you. Again, the worst of it is coming through Huntsville as we speak. Decatur, go to bed. I think you're good to go in Decatur. We're likely going to continue to have these warnings extended deeper into Jackson and Marshall County, and probably into DeKalb County. Let's take a look here. Let me show you some model data while I've got you all here. So that's the radar. This is going to be future radar. find what I'm looking for. There we go. So this is pretty close, a little behind, just a hair on the placement. So this is future radar. Again, the severe threat's going to be right on the leading edge of all of this. Right on the leading edge. So where do we go with time? Here's 1 o'clock in the morning. At that point, leading edge should be moving into western Jackson County, moving into western Marshall County. Take you to 2 a.m., leading edge of the storms, moving through eastern and maybe still central Jackson County and beginning to edge into DeKalb County. Maybe a little slow, but I do think by 3 in the morning we're done. Storms at that point will be lined up from Chattanooga back through far northwest Georgia, but should have cleared you at that point in Fort Payne, extending down into Cherokee County, and all that will continue to track away. So everyone will be able to give you the all clear no later than 3 o'clock in the morning, and for many of you, it's going to be well before that. In Huntsville, tree on a structure, 3814 Thomas Road. So a tree down on, I don't know what the structure is. It just says a structure. That's from Madison County EMA. Tree on a structure on Thomas Road in Huntsville. So a report of a tree down there. Another look at our Skycam there, 565 and Old Madison Pike Wind Drive, looking from Calhoun to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Doesn't look like everything is blowing around quite as much as it was when I showed you the view earlier. You see a little traffic on the interstate. Still lighting up the sky with some lightning at times. It's still raining pretty good. Got some more windy, oh no, that's some thunder. Thunder and wind still continuing here outside our studios on Montesano. I'll show you the wide view again. Leading edge of storms stretching from Winchester, Tennessee back into eastern Madison County. Again, probably our greatest potential for some strong wind, maybe along this segment right on the Madison-Jackson County line where it bows out just a little bit, not significant. Quick look here, no spinning, that's catching my eye, but probably some gusty wind. So let's track some of this into Jackson County. Storms are really picking up there around Gurley. So be pushing across Jackson County. Sometimes it doesn't throw all the names up there on the map, but you see them there on the list. So Garth, 1245, Princeton, 1247, Skyline, 1257, High Top, which is where the radar is located, 1258, Hollywood, 111, Stevenson, 117. Bolivar around 122. Again, these are areas in northern Jackson County that will be impacted. Again, there is the possibility of winds 50 to 60 miles per hour with these storms. Storms of rough go of it there on Cecil Ashburn. Heavy rain showing up there around Sutton Road, the eastern bypass. Storms are cresting Green Mountain and starting to go down the other side. Folks over here in the Hampton Cove, Big Cove area, vicinity of Old Big Cove Road, Taylor Road, rain's really starting to ramp up. Maybe some small hail where you see these little spots of pink. That could be indicative of some small hail. Let's see. Not seeing indications of large hail, so this would be small hail. But again, very heavy storms coming in over that area on the Owens Crossroads side of Green Mountain. Big Cove, Hampton Cove area. You see Old Big Cove Road, Taylor Road. That's where the heaviest of the activity is right now in the greater Huntsville area, heading into Owens Crossroads. So that could be also some pretty strong wind perhaps in that area. Nothing twisting with the wind, but very heavy rainfall and perhaps some hail. I think that's probably our best shot at some hail right now. This would be going across 431 there, close to the Food City, Publix, going through the Cherry Tree area, of course Hampton Cove there off of the Eastern Bypass, Sutton Road, as you head east. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning just issued for this entire line, moving into Jackson County, moving through southeast Madison County. So that's a new severe thunderstorm warning. That does include areas as far east as Fort Payne until 1:45. Severe thunderstorm warning. DeKalb, Jackson, and parts of Madison County. So that's a new severe thunderstorm warning just popped up. Other strong storms here moving out of Morgan and into Marshall County. Let's track some of this. Say from Madison, southeast Madison County, down to Fairview, points eastward. So into Owens Crossroads here momentarily, Arab 1253, Gunnersville 106, Albertville 119, the Dutton area 125, Crossville there in southern DeKalb County 134. And we're probably by 2 o'clock. This is likely wrapping up. So at least these are steadily moving through. Decatur, Hartselle, again, go to bed. You're done. If you are in the city of Madison, go to bed. Up towards Harvest. Hazel Green, Meridianville, go to bed. Won't entirely say Huntsville yet, but give me till 1 a.m. and I'll give you the all clear in Huntsville. Right now, the strongest storms are moving through southeast Madison County, so again, around the Hampton Cove, Big Cove, Owens Crossroads area, tracking towards New Hope. Gurley, still some strong thunderstorms in your general area. Again, the strongest stuff, probably the most organized, I'd say right now, is what we have here bearing down in northwest Jackson County, around Princeton, Pleasant Groves, tracking towards Skyline, High Top. Again, there have been wind reports upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour with some of this activity. Not seen anything higher than that as this has come through the greater Huntsville area. Those are just some of the airport measured reports. Tornado watch has now been canceled if you're in Lawrence and Limestone County. Again, kind of gave you folks the all clear, but now it's official from the Weather Service. Tornado watch has been canceled for your area. Let me go ahead and show you the update on that. So here's the tornado watch as it stands now. So we've cleared some more spots. Lawrence, Limestone County have been cleared. Giles County, Tennessee has also been cleared from the tornado watch. It does remain in effect until 3 a.m. for other areas. Again, though, we're probably maybe by 2 in the morning. Most of this is probably clear of northeast Alabama, and then everyone will be able to call it a night, including myself and meteorologist Laney Pugh. Meteorologist Amber Kulick will be in shortly, kind of taking over, watching the radar, keeping an eye on things. And here's another look at that. 31 triple Doppler, continuing to track this line of intense thunderstorms. Again, it was pretty windy here on top of the mountain. Seems to be calming down a little bit at this point. So that's the main thing we're looking at. We had the tornado warnings around mid-evening, and those were legit. Those were issued for a reason. Those were rotating thunderstorms, actually one rotating thunderstorm that moved through the northwest corner of the state. No reports of any damage or anything that touched down, but that was the one that was a little bit concerning for a little bit. And that kind of came and went, and then we've just had this line, which has brought a lot of wind with it. We've had a lot of wind ahead of it, and then a lot of wind with the line. And kind of as expected, the line's narrow. So again, 20, maybe 30 minutes of storminess in any one spot. I think 30 minutes would be on the high end, but probably about a good 20 minutes where it's blowing and it's raining and it's thundering pretty good, and then it's moving on. So at least things are kind of progressing fairly steadily. Again, we are still watching. Pretty much at this point, there's still a bit of Madison County yet to clear. Still a little bit of Morgan County left to clear. But going from this point, we're primarily watching for you folks in Jackson, Marshall, and DeKalb counties for potential severe weather. And again, 50, 60 mile per hour wind appears to be the main thing. There is some small hail that's been reported. Let me check here on the comments and just see, since I had asked for a little bit more information on the hail. And pea-sized, okay. So thank you, Jessica. So the hail in Huntsville off Patton Road, pea-sized. Chan also in Huntsville, pea-sized hail. So that's about the worst of it. Amber's here. Hey, what? Oh, okay. You're taking off? Okay. Well, thank you. Okay. All right. I'll see you later in the day. Okay, bye. Meteorologist Laney Pugh taking off now that Amber is here to kind of take over. I may let Amber jump on here as well here in a little bit. We are coming up on 1 a.m. I will do another live update in the studio. Might be able to hear my audio from in there. We have two studios. This is primarily our streaming studio, where we kind of have control of everything. For those of you that weren't here a little bit earlier when I was explaining this, we got basically 4 monitors here. I can control, when I do this, it's touch screen, allows me to change that. If I wanted to punch up something else, I could do that. Got a monitor and a computer here that I'm controlling the weather graphic system, looking at 31 triple Doppler. We've got a computer over here that you don't see that is controlling basically our streaming right now. And we've got one of these computers that has 2 monitors, so I can kind of move things around if I want things on a couple different screens. So this is our streaming studio. I'll be going back into our main studio that you see normally during our newscast to do a top of the hour update for folks that maybe aren't quite interested in watching me drone on and on and on about the weather as it's moving through, but maybe are interested in a little update. And so I'll be sharing with them some of the things I've been sharing with you, where the threat for severe weather remains, where the threat for severe weather has ended. Again, windy, let's see, Christian, windy in Horton, Angel watching from Langston. And again, thank you for those of you that did qualify the hail reports. As I suspected, the hail that is being reported, the hail that is falling is pea-size. So large hail, it continues to be really a non-issue. It's mainly wind that we're seeing with the storms. And just continue to keep a close watch, just to make sure there's nothing spinning. Let me take a look at that. Quick check here from the Weather Service. Report of some nickel hail in Franklin County, Tennessee. That's just north of our coverage area. Had a 51 mile per hour gust in Jackson County a few minutes ago. in section. There is a camera there in section, and it has a weather station on it, and again a gust there of 51. But that is ahead of where the storms are. So if you're familiar, section is across the Tennessee River from Scottsboro. As you go up the mountain there, you hit section first there on Highway 35. So there is. I've seen this camera. In fact, we've showed it on air before. I think when it was unveiled, and it's a pretty shot, looking right down the Tennessee River there. But again, that is outside of any storminess, so that is just kind of the ambient wind, again, what we call the gradient wind, 51 mile per hour gust there, up on the ridgetop there in section. And again, along the line, there is going to be that potential for winds, maybe upwards of 50 to 60. Quick look here, quick scan of the radar data along the line. Everything's kind of blowing in the same direction. I don't see any twisting of the wind. There's all the way down into Coleman and Blount County. So nothing twisting. It is all straight line wind that we are seeing. Some of that straight line wind is associated with just the gradient wind out ahead of the storms. And some of the wind 50 plus is associated with the storms themselves. So for thunderstorm warning until 1:45 for Jackson and DeKalb County. And then the warning here that includes areas west of Gunnersville, that one goes until 1:15. Probably before then, we're probably going to see a new warning issued that will cover much of the rest of Marshall County and remaining areas of DeKalb County, I suspect, just for the possibility of, again, some of those strong wind gusts that could occur with some of this activity coming through. Another report, this is in Madison County, on Faro Road, right at the Indian Creek Bridge, tree down, report there. So getting a few reports of some trees down, some reports of, again, in measured winds of 50 to almost 60 miles per hour. Quick check here at power outages. We still have, now Lauderdale County, that number is going up from when I last checked that with you. Lauderdale County now 12,000 customers out in Lauderdale County. Now again, the storms are long gone from there. And sometimes power goes out for folks in the process of power being restored. They have to cut power in order to restore it. So that perhaps part of it. But I think a lot of those outages were in Florence, where we did have very strong wind that moved through the Florence area earlier. Colbert County, we got 780 customers out. Franklin County, 177. And in Lawrence County, Alabama, 236 customers out. At the moment, no outages reported in Limestone County. Madison County, we got 2,300 outages being reported. Morgan County, 378. Do a quick look here for Huntsville Utilities, which covers most of Madison County. So let me show you. Take a look here. We'll see where most of those outages are. Actually, they're kind of spread out. We got some sporadic outages northwest part of the county. Most of them are concentrated. Looks like an area here where most of those are. In the Huntsville area, looks like most of the outages are concentrated around Winchester Road and Pulaski Pike, according to Huntsville Utilities outage map. So there are quite a few outages in that area. Again, the vicinity of Winchester Road and Pulaski Pike. And then there's just some other spots here and there with outages, but that appears to be in Huntsville where they're most concentrated with power out. All right, quick run to the studio, do this 1 o'clock, and I will be back. Hey. She's still getting ready, but yeah, but probably here in a second. Yeah. Okay. right, we are back. I think we are still good on the stream. Let me take a look here. Quick look at the weather service info. Nothing really new here. Just an update on the severe thunderstorm warning. Tree on a power line on Eastbrook Drive in Huntsville, causing some transformer issues, it appears. All right. I will say, as the storms are moving through northeast Alabama, they're not looking real healthy. And I am okay with that. Lightning has decreased considerably. And if you remember, now I know if you've kept up with the risk from the Storm Prediction Center, a couple days ago we had the slight risk for Huntsville to the west, marginal risk over Sand Mountain. And then as we got closer, that risk increased and got expanded. And even earlier today, the level 3 enhanced risk on our scale of 1 to 5, that was expanded to include all of northeast Alabama. But I will say, the radar look here is not real ominous. We've even lost quite a bit of the lightning activity. It looks like there's a lot less lightning with some of the storms that are coming on through. So hopefully that is a good sign for us. Strongest activity is north and west of Scottsboro. Officially, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect until 1:45. There is not any spinning of the wind of significance that I'm seeing here. And even on down into Marshall County, same story. So at least for now, the tornado threat looks negligible. And hopefully it will stay that way. We just have heavy rain, and we have some wind that is coming across parts of Jackson and Marshall County for the time being. And there's the latest radar update. I got something on my phone. Okay, so they did do a new severe thunderstorm warning. So as I was expecting, so new severe thunderstorm warning just coming out now. You see it. That does include the Gunnersville area, basically the remainder of Marshall County. So Gunnersville to Albertville, Boaz to Douglas, and then east into DeKalb County around I-59. That includes Collinsville, Crossville area for, again, that potential for seeing some additional severe weather. So let's kind of track all this out. Let me get an update here on the movement. Still saying now east at 35. So the storms, the movement on the storms is slowing just a little bit. So let me update that. And we'll kind of track this out, this whole line. So here's an update on the arrival times. Let me pull this up full screen for you. So Scottsboro is still within 5 minutes. Rain's going to pick up. Thunder and lightning will pick up. Wind's probably going to pick up in Scottsboro. Albertville around 1:26. Your current time is 1:07, so about 20 minutes from now. If you're in Rainsville, 1:36. And okay, we just had a lightning strike. I think everything's working. A couple of my monitors went black for a minute, but now they're back up. The Rainsville area, 1:36. Fort Payne, 1:51. So I think we're still looking close to 2. Most of this is going to be clearing the area. May still be a little bit that hangs on there in southern DeKalb County, southern and eastern DeKalb County, but shortly after 2, I think we're going to be largely done with this. Some power outages northwest of Skyline. Just do a quick check here. Those outages. Got 29 outages now in Marshall County. Morgan County outages are up to 1,600. We're still sitting there at 12,000 in Lauderdale County. And we've got the almost 2,400 in Madison County. And again, some of those are concentrated into parts of Huntsville. Again, Winchester Road, Pulaski Pike vicinity of Huntsville is where we're seeing the power outages a little more concentrated. Also now it looks like maybe north of Gurley to Maysville to the Jackson County border. Huntsville Utilities reporting almost 800 outages in that part of eastern Madison County. So those are relatively recent. Huntsville, we'll give you the all clear. Go to bed if you're in Huntsville. We're good. Pretty much all of Madison County, honestly, at this point. So even Owens Crossroads, New Hope area, you're fine. Gurley, you're fine. Go to bed. If you live anywhere in Madison County, except for that extreme southeast corner, you can go to bed. If you're in Morgan County, I already gave you the all clear in Decatur, Hartselle, but the rest of Morgan County, go to bed. Leading edge of the strong storms are now fully in Marshall County, again bearing down on Gunnersville. Pull up our Gunnersville Skycam, see what that's looking like. Not quite seeing the heavy downpours there yet. That camera in Gunnersville is close to the state park. You see the lightning off in the distance. So not in Gunnersville proper, but a little northeast, looking back across the lake towards the City Harbor area, where the first big bridge is there. Well, I guess really the only big bridge going over the Tennessee River, and then you've got the causeways there as well on the other side of Gunnersville. But this is, of course, the big bridge going over the Tennessee River in Lake Gunnersville. Again, looking back towards City Harbor, towards the downtown area. So the heavy rain not quite where the camera is located, but definitely can see the thunder. You can see the lightning off in the distance. You can hear the thunder, I'm sure, as well in this area. So this will be likely filling in with rain fairly soon. Again, here's the wide view with 31 triple Doppler. Threat of severe weather. Let me circle where it continues. And we're primarily looking at that threat being winds 50 to 60 miles per hour, potentially. Small hail, pea-sized, heavy rain, some lightning. Most intense storm right now looks like it is northeast of Scottsboro there in northern Jackson County. Otherwise, it's mostly some heavy rain. These storms are not looking as organized at this point, and hopefully that trend will continue. But I still want you to be on alert here if you are across Sand Mountain, Marshall, Jackson, and DeKalb County. Still plan on being alert for a while longer. Anywhere outside of this area I've got circled, you're done. Go to bed. Again, if you're Huntsville, go to bed. Pretty much all of Madison County, we're done. All of Morgan County, Limestone County, done, and points westward. Probably, I would say maybe around 1:30. Wouldn't be surprised if the Weather Service drops Morgan and Madison County from the tornado watch. That's a reasonably good chance that that'll happen. There was a report, 55 mile per hour wind gust. Oh, that was indicator, sorry. Had that earlier. They're just typing it up now, making it official. So again, that gust indicator earlier, 55 at Pryor Field in East Limestone. Well, more like South Limestone County. Otherwise, not getting a whole lot of reports at this point in time. So again, I do still want you folks to stay alert here over in Sand Mountain. Strongest storm that we've got currently is showing up southwest of Stevenson. I'll just do a quick look here. I'll keep an eye on this one. A few things that are catching my eye. Just to keep an eye on it. So this is our most organized storm, the strongest one in Jackson County. This is north of Scottsboro. It is heading into Stevenson. Just kind of march it back in time here. Just something I'll keep an eye on. I don't think there's anything of immediate concern, but I'll be watching for kind of right in here. Just going to keep an eye on that, just to make sure that doesn't get any sharper than it is now. Latest scan update didn't really sharpen any, but that's now moved. Again, headed towards Stevenson. Let me just take a look here. Gonna have to watch that. Gonna have to watch that for you folks here southwest of Stevenson. This is our most organized storm. There may be just a little bit of circulation trying to develop here. You see all the county roads here. Again, southwest of Stevenson. Vicinity of County Road 45, 55, and 42, and 53. Just the shape has caught my eye. There's maybe just a hint of something trying to rotate here, right there. So Stevenson, of course, you're within that severe thunderstorm warning. There you saw the update. I would just make sure that you're you're away from windows. Definitely hunker down here in the vicinity of Stevenson until this has passed. It's not anything real strong, but it is something worth watching. Maybe something trying to spin there. It's very subtle. So again, Stevenson, just kind of hunker down until this passes. There's honestly barely, most of the lightning is actually back behind. There, what I was watching. Quite as concerning. So just keeping an eye on that. Otherwise, that's the only thing. You do see the wind shift. That has passed Highway 72. The wind shift has passed you in Scottsboro, now going up Sand Mountain on that side of the Tennessee River. There's nothing of Nothing that is catching my eye over here in Marshall County. The only thing I'm kind of watching right now, close to Stevenson, and maybe not a huge concern. It's kind of flipping through all the data here. Definitely a strong thunderstorm. This is the strongest thing that we've got out there right now, northern Jackson County. Very heavy rainfall, moving into Stevenson right now. Again, I think that's the most organized cell that we've got. Otherwise, the activity back here into Marshall County, just not super well organized. There is a sharp line, though, you do see between no rain and very heavy rainfall. Probably right along that, there is some gusty wind. And then back up here to Stevenson. Yeah, just something to watch. All right, let me see here. Update from the Weather Service, not seeing anything too concerning at the moment tornado-wise. Sporadic reports of wind damage across the area. And they're likely going to keep the warnings going until everything's moved east. So yeah, that's expected. That's probably wise. So again, let me kind of track this activity. So this stretches from Stevenson back through the Hollywood, Scottsboro area, Pisgah 127, Rainsville 142, Plainview 146, and then into northwest Georgia. Looks like they've issued a severe thunderstorm warning for that part of northwest Georgia. Let me clear this off. And then back here into Marshall County, headed through DeKalb County. Albertville 128, Douglas 130, Boaz 141. Fort Payne coming up around 154, so about 30 minutes from now, Fort Payne. And then again, that's pretty well it. So I think once we get towards 2 o'clock, there's just not going to be much left to worry about here in far north Alabama. Again, the severe potential continues along and ahead of the main line, back behind. We're done. So again, all of Madison, Morgan County, Limestone, Lawrence, Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin County, if you've not gone to bed, I'm still worried about the weather. Severe threats done with. That includes the Huntsville, Athens, Decatur area. Let me switch on over here to social media, take a look at the comments. Obviously, where you're watching our stream on our news and weather apps, I can't interact with you, but I can here on social media. So let's take a look, see what I can answer. A lot of people are kind of hopping off at this point. Not had any comments on my page for about 30 minutes. Let's go to the WAAY page. Let's see what we got here. So I've got some folks checking in, asking, I think I just tracked out some of this for you. Power off and back on about 10 seconds, hard rain north of Stevenson. Thank you, Roger, for that report. I had a couple questions about BOAS, but again, I just kind of track that out. People checking in. Rainsville, Long Island, Henniger. These areas still, we've got a little bit to go. Head on over to YouTube. Yeah, I think on YouTube people are having trouble hearing. It looks like someone told me earlier on YouTube we're not in stereo, so audio is only going out over one channel. So if you don't have both channels turned up on the audio on YouTube, or you have the wrong channel turned up and the other one turned down, that's why people, I think, are not hearing me there. Another lightning strike. My monitors went out, but we are good to go otherwise. Okay, so again, the threat has ended for all but Marshall, Jackson, and DeKalb County. And even here, the storms are pretty loosely organized. I would say they're not quite as intense as what we had earlier. With that said, there are severe thunderstorm warnings that do continue, and the National Weather Service indicating that they will allow those to continue on. So again, just continue to stay alert here. From Gunnersville to Scottsboro and points east. Again, I'm not seeing anything concerning as far as tornado potential. What you are seeing here in parts of Jackson County, that is your wind shift. And nothing else that is really looking like a concern. In the leading edge here in Jackson County, it's not a sharp change from nothing to very heavy rainfall. So hopefully that's limiting the strong wind potential. Back here in Marshall County, a little bit of a sharper change, so that could be an indication for some stronger wind. Gunnersville, you're fully in it right now. Let's take a look here at our, yep, there's our Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam in Gunnersville. There you see lots of lightning flashing. Not even seeing really back into Gunnersville. I don't know if that's just because of the heavy rainfall, or maybe we've got some power issues there. Not seeing any reports out of Marshall County right now of power outs. Got 200 customers out in Jackson County. Still sitting there almost 2,400 in Madison County. Still sitting at 12,000 in Lauderdale County. So we still have some power issues there in the northwest corner of the state, mainly Lauderdale County. And again, I think a lot of those were around the Florence area, where we had that powerful storm roll through a little bit earlier. Looks like more of the watch is being canceled. Still got some wind here on the mountain that I'm hearing outside these doors here. But again, back through Madison County and points westward, it's just rainfall, a little thunder here and there. And our strongest storm activity is continuing off to the east. Meteorologist Amber Kulick in here with me. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Did you make it safely, I guess?
Good, yeah,
Okay.
I got through it.
Well, I was wondering. I figured, oh, poor Amber. probably driving through all this right now. So yeah, so Amber's here with me. Not anything of great concern, honestly. If you are watching the stream and you are in these areas, just comment either on my Facebook, meteorologist Jeff Castle, or on the WAAY TV Facebook. Just let me know what you're seeing, what you're experiencing over here in Marshall County. Again, the warnings continue, but I will say I'm not overly impressed with the way the storms are looking. They're certainly not looking quite as potent as they were, really like they were back coming through Huntsville. And we did have some strong wind. We had gusts above 50 at the airport. Again, that little concentrated of power outages in northwest Huntsville, likely due to some strong wind. But the storms, as they've been moving into Sand Mountain, have, to me at least, the way they look on radar are just not real concerning. And I think the Weather Service is probably just continuing the warnings simply because of the history of the storms producing some strong gusty wind and sporadic reports of some trees down, some power outages, most of those concentrated in Lauderdale County, as I mentioned, and I think that was largely due to the big storm that went through there at the very beginning of this, earlier this evening. So let's kind of run you back in time, just kind of take you back how all this was. So this was back around 10:30. Take you back a little bit before then. I just got the lightning here. Let's kind of show you a different perspective. And go back a little bit farther. So this is kind of how everything has transpired. We started to see storms come through around 9:30. The big one was this one back here towards Tishomingo in northeast Mississippi. That's the one that prompted some tornado warnings, both for Mississippi, Colbert, Lauderdale County. That was certainly an intense storm. That was ahead of the main line. See the main line back here. This is just before 10 o'clock. So we had this isolated storm ahead of the main line. It had no competition for what the environment and the atmosphere was providing for storms. So it kind of had everything all to itself. And took advantage of that. The storm was rotating. There were indications that it produced maybe some quarter-size hail. And I think this is kind of responsible for a lot of the power outages that we have in Lauderdale County. So it moved from Colbert County right across Florence. Now the tornado warning was not extended, so the tornado warning kind of stopped just shy of Florence, was allowed to expire, and then the storm flared back up right about here, basically as it was being overtaken by the line coming in. And I mentioned this when we were in our coverage, and there's some research to back this up, that when you have storms merging with each other, that can increase the spin. So I think that's probably maybe what happened here, and why another tornado warning was issued for Lauderdale County with this storm, as it was being absorbed and merging with the main line. I think that little bit of spin that was still there with it spun up just a little bit more, enough to prompt the warning. And then that storm did continue into southern Middle Tennessee with a continued limited tornado threat across Giles County. And then that kind of fizzled away. And then the main line took over. We didn't have any more of these isolated storms developing out ahead of it. So it's been all about the main line. But again, I think that was that storm that moved through Florence that caused the biggest problems there with the power outages across Lauderdale County. Otherwise, these storms have been fairly well organized. They moved through Morgan, Limestone County, Madison County, packing a punch. Again, multiple reports of winds gusting above 50. We did have that one report in Florence on a tower. Again, I don't know how tall the tower was, where the weather station is located on that tower, how high above the ground, but an 83 mile per hour gust was measured, again, on a tower in Florence, but that not necessarily at ground level. Again, this was around 12:30. Storms were pretty strong, moving through Madison, Morgan County. And then they've kind of lost their punch, moving into Sand Mountain. Still definitely a well-defined line in the northeast corner of the state. And still, I think, some potential for some strong wind gust. Update on the tornado watch, more cancellations as expected. Coleman, Madison, and Morgan County in Alabama dropped from the watch. And in southern Tennessee, Moore County, Franklin County, and Lincoln County dropped from the tornado watch. So all that's left is Sand Mountain. Let's show you what remains of the watch. And there you go. Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County, you're all that's left. And we're probably, again, 30 minutes or so. We're likely going to wind this down unless there is something of significance that appears to be coming through. Here's 31 triple Doppler again. You see the leading edge of the storms. I'll pull them up full screen for you. Stretching from Scottsboro back to Guntersville. Now the forward progress of the line that slowed a little bit, but it is still making steady progress here through the northeast corner of the state. So threat of severe weather is continuing eastern and southern Jackson County, DeKalb County, and basically central Marshall County. Still have some heavy rain around Guntersville, close to being able to give you the all clear. If you're in Grant, you're good to go. Go to bed. If you're in Arab, go to bed. Guntersville, Albertville, Boaz, Douglas, hang on a little bit longer. Scottsboro, you're almost there. If you're up towards Stevenson, go to bed. You know, still some heavy rain, but if there's going to be any severe weather, it's going to be right along the leading edge of these storms. That's where we're going to have the threat for some strong wind. If there's going to be any sort of spin-up type of tornado, and we're not really seeing any indications of that at the moment, that's where that would occur. So otherwise, you know, even Scottsboro, you just got some heavy rain. Still may be some strong wind, so that's still a possibility back within the heavy rain area. But in general, where we're going to see the threat for what would be considered severe wind gust or a spin-up tornado, going to be right along the leading edge of this. So Scottsboro, almost in the clear. Same for Guntersville. Quick look here. I don't see anything spinning along the leading edge, so that's fantastic news. Amber, what have you got to add?
Nothing. I don't see anything.
Yeah, Amber, you know, we have multiple tools that we use. You know, even when I'm on wall-to-wall coverage on the TV side of things, I'll occasionally grab my phone and check just a different radar perspective, same data, just a different display. I know that's what Amber's doing on her phone right now, just kind of checking things. Nothing that's real concerning here at the moment for you folks over here in Sand Mountain. But I would still anticipate the possibility there could be some wind gusts, 40, 50 miles per hour, maybe a little bit higher than that. And even ahead of the line of storms, that remains a possibility. We've had what we call the gradient wind. That's just your normal wind, the wind that you have on a quiet day, a day without rain or storms. But those winds, just because of the pressure gradient, that's why we call them the gradient wind, those have been above 40 at times here preceding this line of storms. So that in and of itself caused some problems. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't set my trash out yet. I'll do that when I get home, just because I didn't want it rolling down the hill or spread out over the yard. So maybe some of you held off on that. Just don't forget in the morning to set it out early enough. Let me take a look here at just the comments. See what we got. I think at this point I'm kind of running out of gas, but I think the storms are too. So it's a good combination. Vicky wanted to know, is Princeton clear? Yes, Vicky, you are fine in Princeton. Still kind of waiting for storms to get to Henniger. Tammy, we're still waiting for the storms to get through Eider. Storms are kind of bearing down on you in Eider at the moment. But it won't be too long after that before we'll be able to give you the all clear. Let me check my Facebook. Let's see. Shalina, thank you for showing Holly Pond. It's not even in our area, but I know they're in that northeast corner of Coleman County. You can pick up both stations. So Shalina, I'm glad I was able to help you out there. You're okay there in Holly Pond, which you probably know at this point. John asking, is AREP clear for the most part? Yep. Shelley at Ringgold, Georgia. You still have to wait for the storms to come through there in northwest Georgia, so you are not clear yet. Brenda commenting, power out in Scottsboro, heavy wind and rain. Yes, there's still a lot of that. I will say in Scottsboro, I think the severe weather potential is winding down for you as the heaviest storms are now pushing east and south of Scottsboro. So things are on the improvement in Scottsboro, but thank you for letting me know we have some power outage issues there. We have seen, let me just check here. Let's update here. Jackson County, 200 customers reported out, so I assume some of those must be in Scottsboro. There is good news, Lauderdale County. I think last check there were still 12,000 customers out. That number is now down just below 9,000. So power is gradually being restored there in Lauderdale County. Still got 2,300 in Madison County, so none reported in Limestone County. We got 1,100 in Morgan County, 236 Lawrence County, Colbert County 744, Franklin County, Alabama 177 customers out. Coleman County, a little bit more than 2,000 customers out. Marshall County right now, only 30 outages reported, 30 customers, no outages yet in DeKalb County, which makes sense because the storms are just now getting ready to move into DeKalb County. Let me do another check here. Look here at YouTube. Got a few people watching on YouTube. Nothing new from the Weather Service. Storms are now entering DeKalb County. So this is kind of the last of it on this 31 alert day. The first one that we've done this spring. I would say, Amber, maybe you can concur, this has probably been the most impactful storm event of the spring.
So far, yeah.
And so far. Our first tornado warnings of 2026 here in North Alabama. So The last ones we had were when? When was our last tornado warning?
There's one in Jackson County. It was one evening I covered for you. I don't remember.
Oh, right. No, yes, December. When I was traveling, and yes. Okay, so that was the last tornado warning that we had here in North Alabama, was back in December. So we had two tornado warnings. We had the first one that covered parts of Colbert, Lauderdale County, and then we had a second one that covered another part of Lauderdale County, and that's been it. So those are the first two tornado warnings of 2026. I think that's doing pretty good. Very often, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, we had severe weather events in January and in February, and we didn't have that. We had a winter event in January. February, not a whole lot of note happened weather-wise, other than some typical cold. So first two tornado warnings of 2026 here in North Alabama. They happened this evening. Thus far, though, aside from some power outages, a few reports of some trees down, we've not had any major damage reports. Some of that may continue to trickle on in, so we'll see. But at least out of those two tornado warnings, none of those were confirmed tornadoes. So, we're doing pretty good if that is the case, that nothing actually touched down. But again, the first two tornado warnings of the season. Again, the heavy storms continuing to move through the far northeast corner of the state, lined up eastern Jackson County and into southern and eastern Marshall County, and heading into DeKalb County. Let me do a quick storm track on all of this for you. Do one, just check here. Looking at velocity, I don't see any spinning wind on the leading edge of this. So that is fantastic news. Let's track the remainder of this. Primarily coming across DeKalb County now. Rainsville kind of bearing down on you. Be just a few minutes, I think, before we start to see much there. Crossville around 1:51. Fort Payne now looks to be close to the top of the hour, so around 2 a.m. Collinsville 2:04. And again, we'll probably wind things down shortly after that. Again, our main threats here are going to be some strong wind, maybe 50 up to 60 miles per hour. Not getting any reports of that in these areas. Let me look at the weather station. Let me check a couple of them. Albertville, unfortunately, the weather station there is down. Let me see what we had in Scottsboro. Scottsboro, the strongest gust as the storms moved through was 40. So a gust of 40 at the airport there in Scottsboro as storms passed through. Like I said, Huntsville had a gust of 53. Had a gust of 55 at Pryor Field and Decatur. And again, there were some other reports of gust above 50. Cortland had a gust of 46 when the storms came through. Muscle Shoals Airport's highest gust there was, looks like 44. Let's running through some of these numbers. Highest gust in Meridianville at Madison County Executive Airport. Gust of 45 was the highest there in Meridianville. Take you down to Vinemont. Highest gust there associated with the storms, 38. New severe thunderstorm warning out now for DeKalb, Jackson, Marshall County. I'll take a look at that here in just a second. Let's see, Fayetteville, Tennessee. Looks like the strongest gust there was 46 miles per hour. All right, let's see, what is the new severe thunderstorm warning for? Assume it's for up north here. Let me see. Right, that was for the northern part. So I think just kind of replace the warning that had been in place for these areas. Moving east at 30. Scottsboro, you're good. You're good to go to bed in Scottsboro. Same if you're up towards Stevenson. Long Island, I think things are winding down for you. I know we had someone ask about Long Island. Gunnersville, you're good to go. Go ahead and go to bed. Honestly, I'd say Albertville, you're probably okay. Boaz, just give it another 15, 20 minutes. Let's track some of this out. Leading edge of the stronger storms in DeKalb County, southern DeKalb County. Geraldine, you're right in the thick of it. Crossville, everything's coming into town. All this will be headed towards Collinsville at the time of arrival. Collinsville, about the next 15 minutes or so. Crossville, again, bearing down on you as we speak. Into Sand Rock, which will be there in northern Cherokee County around 2:12. So by that time, the leading edge will be moving into northern Cherokee County. And here for the northern part of DeKalb County, again, the worst of it coming through Henniger right now. Plainview 152, kind of bearing down on you. Again, Eider, the worst of the stuff moving in right now. Valley Head 203, still looks like it'll be top of the hour, so next 10 minutes or so. Some of this moving into Fort Payne. And then from there, everything will continue over into Georgia. There are no new reports here. The outages in DeKalb, Sand Mountain Electric, 103 customers out. To have a report of that. And that is kind of the extent of it, folks. Check my email. We're also at the time of the night, unless there's something real significant. we're not going to get any reports. So I apologize that I don't have a lot of information to pass along to you. But that's also a good thing. If I don't have a lot to pass along to you, that means storms are not causing too many problems. We're mostly seeing reports of some power outages. No major structural damage. There was a report of a tree on a structure, I think somewhere in Huntsville, Madison County. I didn't have any details on that. The threat does continue here in DeKalb County for maybe some winds 50 miles per hour, a little bit higher. Don't have any ground truth report of any of that. Again, when storms came through Scottsboro, strongest winds that were produced were 40. So there's a reasonably good chance that the storms and the main batch of them now is in DeKalb County. Reasonably good chance these may be sub-severe, which means they're producing winds below 58 miles per hour. I would say maybe around 50, still a possibility. Don't see anything organized enough that would lead me to believe that there's anything stronger than that. We are going to stay on, we'll stay on to 2, and if I don't see anything else concerning, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot for you folks over here towards Fort Payne to really worry about, honestly. These are going to be some heavy storms. They'll be a little noisy. They are producing a good bit of thunder. You're going to see heavy rain. You are going to see some wind, but most likely that wind's going to be behaving. Still can blow some stuff around. If you're talking winds up to 50 miles per hour, yeah, that's still going to blow some things around. But it's not quite enough to cause major structural problems. It's mostly only going to impact trees that are already diseased or dying. But there could still be some power outages that happen here. There you saw the latest scan update. A quick look inside the storms. Don't see anything of concern. In fact, there's really, at this point, there's not even a well-defined wind shift. It's all kind of ragged on the leading edge. In order to see some strong wind, we'd want to see a little bit more of a kind of a sharper delineation along the line. Instead, there are some weaker spots along the line right now. In certain situations, those breaks in the line would be a concern, but given that nothing along this line is incredibly strong, that's not something I'm particularly worried about at the moment. It's like a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one goes until 2:45. Don't think it'll be needed that long, but so this just kind of expands the warning on the southern edge of this line of storms, basically replacing the previous warning. are definitely winding this down. Strongest storms right now. You did see new severe thunderstorm warning there issued for northwest Georgia that just popped up. The strong storms are now pretty much confined to DeKalb County here in northeast Alabama. So Guntersville, you're clear. You're good to go to bed. Albertville, I think you're fine. Boaz, we're almost there. So close. Still some heavy rain and lightning in Boaz, and probably some gusty wind occurring. Heaviest activity right now, Eider to just outside of Fort Payne, just a little west there, back through Geraldine. Here's the big picture. Again, the leading edge of the storms in DeKalb County. Everywhere else we're good. We're fine for the night. Still going to be raining. Still going to be a little windy. What's next? Oops, there we go. What's next? Snow? I don't know. Let's kind of take a look at that as we, again, I'm going to get ready to wind things down here without any new information. The warnings continue, yes. So I would anticipate still some winds that maybe gust up to 50. The storms are not as potent as they were earlier. But for those of you still hanging on here, DeKalb County, just be aware we're close, bearing down on Collinsville, Fort Payne, and then that'll be kind of the end of it. Forecast-wise, what's next? Definitely got the cold. And we have the potential for a little bit of snow. So let's kind of show you that. Here's future radar. Temperatures are already cooling, already into the 40s here in the next hour out in the northwest corner of the state. Again, storms will continue to roll out. And look at that. Wow. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. We go from a severe weather threat and a tornado watch to temperatures tomorrow in the 30s and snow showers. There may even be, this has been kind of consistent, a little bit of a band of snow along the I-59 corridor that develops and then quickly lifts into Georgia. So probably not enough we're going to have any sort of significant accumulation. Even with some snow showers, I'm not expecting travel problems. Temperatures will be above freezing tomorrow. And the ground's pretty warm. We've had kind of a warm stretch here lately, so the ground temperatures are pretty warm. So much of this, even if you do get a heavier snow shower, it's not going to stick. Might get a little bit on the cars, might get a little bit on grassy surfaces, but that's going to be about it. But just, Alabama being Alabama, doing Alabama things, going from a severe weather threat, some winds 50, 60 miles per hour, a couple tornado warnings to within basically 12 hours, we're talking snow showers. So tomorrow it's back to winter. We'll clear out into Monday night, Tuesday morning. Temperatures down in the 20s. I think we'll probably be a little bit colder than some of these numbers, but definitely mid-20s, maybe some low 20s possible Tuesday morning. I don't know if I dare show you the wind chill. Tuesday afternoon, we're back into the 40s, and by the end of the week, we're back in the 70s. Let me show you the wind chills. So dig out the winter coats. Wind chills in the morning in the 20s. They stay there through tomorrow afternoon. And then Tuesday morning, feeling like the teens. And then we'll get out of it pretty quickly. show you. Let me show you the extended forecast. And then I think we're going to kind of wrap things up here. All right. Pull this up full screen. There's 10-day. It doesn't have Monday on there because I'm showing you the one that we used in the evening, and of course we've now skipped to the next day since it is Monday, so it starts with tomorrow. But 25 Tuesday morning, 45 Tuesday afternoon. Ignore the holiday symbols; those are off by a day. Spring arrives Friday. St. Patrick's Day is still on Tuesday, but this graphic not updated yet. It'll be updated later today. But you do see by the end of the week we're back in the 70s Friday, and this coming weekend probably a good one. Low 80s. Cool down a little bit early next week. I've not done a deep dive into the forecast, but just in my last check, at this point we don't see our next significant severe weather threat showing up. But we know that's not a matter of if that'll happen, just a matter of when. So of course we'll be keeping a close watch on that for you. All right, last look here, 31 triple Doppler. Again, most of North Alabama in the clear. You folks in DeKalb County, it's going to be winding down here shortly. Officially, there are still some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for some of you folks here in DeKalb County. Potential for some winds, 50, maybe 60 miles per hour. I don't think we're probably looking at anything higher than that. And we are not really looking at anything too concerning here. On radar. Well, I say that. Maybe in the vicinity of Portersville. You know what, we're just going to stay with this until we get this out of here. You know, these are things that we look for on the radar, just what that is showing there. Look at the wind velocity. There's maybe a little bit of circulation in the vicinity of Portersville. We'll keep an eye on that. This, though, almost out of the area that we cover. That's the DeKalb Cherokee County line. So that's the cutoff for our coverage area here in the Huntsville TV market. Cherokee County is part of Birmingham's coverage area, I believe. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So there we go. There's the latest update. Not real concerning. Just something to watch. All right, let me take a look here. Just check the comments. See if there's questions I can answer. And I think a lot of people kind of hopped off here. On my meteorologist Jeff Castle page, 5 people are watching right now. So I think a lot of the area that we've been able to clear, folks have gone to bed. Take a look at the WAAY page. See what we got. Just 32 people. Roger, yep. Good night, Roger. Yeah, you're good here in Stevenson. Sonia asking 11 minutes ago, Albertville. You're good in Albertville. But Tammy reporting it got a little bad in Eider. think the worst stuff has passed you there in Ider, hailing in Crossville, heavy rain in Crossville. So again, pretty much into DeKalb County along the I-59 corridor. That is where the worst of it is now. And that stuff is about to run up the side of Lookout Mountain there. If you're familiar, of course, you folks in DeKalb County know what I'm talking about. Other folks watching maybe not familiar with the terrain there. I-59 kind of runs down in the valley between Sand Mountain to the west and Lookout Mountain to the east. So the storms are about ready to run up Lookout Mountain at this point. We have a couple people here. Just have, what do we got here on YouTube? We got 56 people on YouTube right now. And we do got a couple questions. So, Bluebird ranges starting in Fort Payne. Glad you waited out with us. Well, yeah, we're hanging on while it's hanging on. And someone asking how long should it last in Rainsville. I'd say the severe threat in Rainsville is over with. It is just starting though in Fort Payne. Rainsville, you still have some heavy rain, but the heavier storms have now pushed to your east and southeast. So that really is kind of the end of it, severe weather-wise, I think, for around Rainsville. We'll give you the all clear all through Jackson County and all through Marshall County. So you folks in Boaz that have been waiting this out, go to bed. And again, all of Jackson County. So DeKalb County, you're all that's left. And even here, just do another quick look. Just latest scan, velocity-wise, I don't see anything super alarming. A lot of the warnings are being trimmed back here in the east. Tornado watch, yep, canceled for Jackson and Marshall County. Tornado watch canceled. So only DeKalb County is left in the watch. Worst of the weather moving through Fort Payne right now. You got heavy rain. There is some lightning. Actually, there's not a ton of lightning around Fort Payne. A little bit more still lingering back towards Henniger, although the heavier storm activity has moved east to Henniger. I got the heavy storms moving through Valley Head, Mentone right now. Heavy rainfall out of that. Getting down through Fort Payne. Kind of breaks a little bit down towards Collinsville, but still some downpours showing up in that direction as well. Let's do one. Just draw this out again. If you are to the west, so basically all of this that I'm circling, go to bed. If you are basically DeKalb County, wait it out a little bit longer. I'm not seeing anything super concerning. Let me do a check here of the Fort Payne Airport. And as the thunder was coming in, gust to 28. Again, that's the airport, Isbell Field. Just a gust to 28. Again, severe thunderstorm warnings do continue here for DeKalb County. I think they go to 2:45, so another 30 minutes. Really think the severe weather threat is kind of fizzled, honestly. Again, Fort Payne Airport only gusted to 28 as the storms moved in. Just not been seeing anything more significant than that. All right, I'll do one last check here, social media, and then I think we're going to wrap it up, folks. This is just really wound down. Hey, Tabitha, been watching since before you went live, like around 10-ish, going to bed. Thank you, Jeff and team. Thank you, Tabitha. Appreciate that. Do have a YouTube request. Let's see here. Someone asking about Knoxville. Don't have radar for up there. But it appears strong storms still set to move into Knoxville. So the threat's not over for Knoxville. But I'd give it, if you're in, for the person asking about Knoxville, give it another hour and those storms should be past you. Again, DeKalb County, there's just some heavy rain and some thunder and lightning. I'm not seeing anything. In fact, really kind of the wind. If you look at the wind shift here, the greens are the kind of the environmental wind. The reds are the winds blowing in association with the storm away from the radar, and there's actually looks like there's a little disconnect where the wind shift is just ahead of the storm, so I think that's why they're continuing to look less organized. So with that said, officially, yes, there's a severe thunderstorm warning that does include areas of DeKalb County. Unofficially, I believe the severe threat is basically ended for you. There's still some heavy rain, there's still some thunder and lightning. There still may be some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. But I don't think there's going to be anything more than that for you to worry about. And this is all going to be winding down in the next 30 minutes. And then you'll be able to go to bed. There you saw the latest update. Again, just the leading edge of this line is now beginning to push out of DeKalb County into northern Cherokee County. It still will be some heavy rain left behind. But for the most part, I think most of you can go to bed if you want to here in DeKalb County. I don't think anything is going to flare up that would be a concern for you before the heaviest part of this line does continue to clear out of the county. So with that, I will leave you with another look at radar full screen. You can see what is left here. Just some heavy rain and a little thunder and lightning and maybe some wind gusts 40 miles per hour, and that appears to be the worst of it. So with that, we are going to wind down our streaming coverage as this is exiting the far northeast corner of the state. I'm going to go home, get some rest. Amber's day is just beginning, but she at least won't have a whole lot of things to track to prevent her from getting done what she needs to get done. So with that, hey, I'm glad things were not worse. Again, multiple reports of trees down, multiple reports of winds 50 to 60, multiple reports of power outages across the area, but no reports of any major structural damage as a result of the storm. So I think that's a win. Again, our first 2 tornado warnings of the year. We know there will be more to come. But for now, this severe weather threat for North Alabama basically coming to an end as we speak. Hope you all get some sleep. Appreciate your trust, tuning in to get information from us. I know you have lots of resources for that, so I certainly appreciate you choosing us. Again, the severe weather threat ending here in DeKalb County, and it has ended everywhere else across North Alabama. So we are going to close things out. Hope you have a great rest of your night.